Eh. So you dimensioned inside your drawing?
Yes.
Why?
I'll explain that in a second.
I was going to say the Dang. Did you help her make it?
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and start
That's why I was
back
gonna
up.
come up and then I didn't because I helped her make smaller. Should I send a video to my mom? She's like, si no le gustan, tíralos.
All right, before we jump into this, let's just real quickly talk schedule. You got that thing going?
Yep.
Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to do two things tomorrow. We are going to do a test review, and we are going to put this plot together. Okay. So those are the two things we'll do tomorrow. After that, as soon as you've got your drawings done, your semester's over other than one activity the next morning, which would be the test. So that tomorrow will be the last day you log in or clock in. I will scoop up your time cards and produce those. I should have, as long as your drawings are in, I will have your grades calculated. So if you don't want to wait for the website, which that has to be Friday afternoon, you can come see me and I'll let you know your grades. Okay, I will need a little bit of time to input them into the spreadsheet, the last two. I've got the first three done. There are evaluations on the web. Please, they take quite a while to do. Please donate a little bit of time to them. If you got redundant questions on them that you answered before, you don't just skip it. But certainly, I want you to understand the changes that have been made to this program, the viable changes have almost all come from student ideas. Okay, some of these projects, some of the ways we do things in here, I consider that my most valuable critiquing. I consider it more important than my advisory committee, which is made up of people that are going to hire and fire you. Okay, because ultimately we all have different learning styles, and it's nice to incorporate these different things out there. So please, fill those out. I will be looking at them. I guarantee you. They are anonymous if you don't know that. So, be that as it may. So when you're first drawing, this is your drawing. Okay, this is what you should end up. What size do we draw all geometry? 1 to 1. Okay, so use your foot and inches like is used in architectural drafting. You're going to end up with an object that looks like this. Okay. Again, I'm not going to be real picky on this with the architectural stuff, okay, because we've got a whole class devoted to that. Just get as good as you can, then you will go ahead and dimension it. Okay. So once you've got this drawn, then you'll dimension. Now, I've given you a copy of, at the last page, that has the AIA dimensioning standards. Now, the first thing, make sure when you go to dimension, you have your Arch 1 dim style set, and set your annotation scale to the object you're getting ready to dimension. This is a floor plan, it's 1/4 inch to a foot. Set that. It will do all of the sizing for you, right? All your DSF work. Okay, just set that. Once you're done with that, it will look like this, give or take. Now, if you look at that sheet I handed out, when you dimension in architectural, again, these are almost all location dimensions. There's very few size dimensions architecturally. In essence, when you pull a dimension string, the first thing is start your strings on the outside of an exterior wall. Now, these are set up for framers, and the way we do this is specific to these people that come in a building. This drawing is only used pretty much by the framers. So we want to start on the outside, because when they show up, there's a piece of concrete sitting there called a stem wall or a footing that they pull all their measurements from, and they want to hook that tape over that thing, right? A hand tape. So we start from the exterior. Then you're primarily going to go center, 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 exterior. Okay. So you always pull on an exterior wall from the outside. Anything interior to the structure is centered. Okay. They then calculate the offsets. So let me just kind of zoom away just a little bit. So I'll show you this string across the top.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
What are you centering off of this? What are you centering here?
Okay, let me just let's talk about the horizontals on here first. Okay, so notice I started on the exterior. Okay, and look on that little sheet I handed out, you'll notice all of them start on the exterior. Then I'm going, because I got a window in here, I go to the center of the window, and then I'm hitting another exterior wall. So I don't go to the center of that, I go to the outside of it. Okay? Then we're going center of wall, center window, center window. Use that mid-between 2 points snap that you have in your O-snap. So you got to shift right click to get to, right? That, you're going to love that thing in here. But you're going to hit center, center, and then I'm back to an exterior. I always go exterior. Now, is this double dimension? Yeah. We double dimension everywhere architectural. Now, there is double dimensioning in architectural, but it's a different type. The reason we do what mechanical would be considered double dimensioning is that we don't know which side of the structure they're going to be pulling the tape from. Okay? So we're giving them those dimensions regardless. And these folks get very good at fractional math. Okay? Those of you that think that nobody except for an office uses math, you're totally wrong. Okay? These craftsmen are extremely good at this stuff. Okay? And in fact, they're using trig on this job site. They're using all this stuff. Okay? So if they're pulling from here, they know where the center of this window is. They know where the center of that wall is, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the reason we do the first row, all center of doors and windows, is this is what they're building their bottom plate off of. Okay, and that sets the whole wall up. Next one we do is we do walls only. Okay, and that's given to you in the thing. The reason that is there's some blocking that's got to go on the outside of that. And then we start doing overalls. Now, this is where you have architectural double dimensioning. Because if I snap the distance from here to here, I don't have a window in there. That's the same as my walls row. So if you see a dimension that has 8'5" and then right above it another same size, delete the inside one. Okay? Because that's double dimensioning. Now, you asked the question, what was your question?
What is that one? Marking.
This one? It's given this length. We need to know how far to come out for this wall.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
There are some things that aren't located. Notice this door isn't located. That technically should be. I'm going to paste this, by the way, on the wall to help you with the notes. But I always put a note on there. All doors and openings located 3 inches from the wall or centered. And that saves me a ton of dimensioning. Now, be that as it may, there's some people that don't like this. In fact, I got a question just the other day from an experienced framer and said, why didn't you locate my doors? Well, you never read your notes, did you? But, you know, it just happens. Okay, so do we do it or don't we do it? I don't know. For this, save yourself a bunch of work, and I'll put this up on the board. I'll tape it to the wall so you can use these notes. Okay. So that's your exterior dimension. So you just go around the outside. Now, when you do interiors, again, always start from an exterior wall. Because a person's hooking that tape on it and pulling, right? And that's where they can hook their tape. They can't hook their tape inside. So you hook there, and then on this one, I didn't go center because it's an opening, there's no door, so I edge, edge, then exterior. Just pull strings. The thing we do on this is just always outside, and then we pull strings. Notice I went center, center, center. This one's the edge location, but be that as it may.
You didn't do the other one, the door openings. You used contrast door, so you didn't care.
No, it's center.
Go by the toilet, so you didn't care it out because you since
This
the door
one?
note.
Yeah, that one's taking care of the notes. That one's done on the notes. Again, just try your best on this. You won't be held accountable to this unless you totally butcher it. And you don't have anything on there, or you never even made an effort to get it right. Then I will deduct from it. But for the most part, what I'm looking for on the finished assignment, is this text an 1/8 inch? Are you a 1/2 inch off? Are you doing all of this stuff? Okay, you do different DSS. Okay, we'll cover all of this stuff in architectural again. So, in essence, that's your finished drawing. This guy's now ready to print, right here. Now, once you have that one done, okay, the next thing you should then do is draw this one. Okay, so let's talk about this one next. So what are you to do with this guy? I'm going to go to the handout where I gave you the picture of it. Now, in essence, we're going to do 2 different XREFs, and we're going to look at the different ways we XREF and why we do it. And it really has to do with how the block or the external reference is going to be used in a drawing. And most companies will pick 1 of 2 ways they're going to do it. This is the old way. We used to do it this way, where I would draw this in a drawing in its entirety, 1-to-1. There would be no dimensions on it whatsoever. And the reason I would do that is because I know, you know what? This is an interior wall for floor joists that is common throughout Twin Falls on single-story structures. And in fact, this same one would go in probably 70% of all single-story structures in Twin built today. So when I make it, I don't want to redraw it for every time I've got this. So I'm going to draw it once, make a block of it, XREF it into my library, or W block it into my library, and then XREF it out of there into drawings. Don't put any dimensions on it. Now the reason is, when we do not dimension them or annotate them in our block libraries, it's because we want the ability to change the scale. We change scale through viewports. As soon as you put this text on here and titles, you have to use or specify an annotation scale, right? Now, if I throw it in here and I say, you know what, I've got this set up at 1 inch to a foot, but now I'm going to print it at 3/4. Is this now the right distance off? No. Okay. Is this the right distance off? Are these all lined up? No. In essence, I've got to come through and delete everything and redo it all. So therefore, we say do the block, no annotation. I will take care of that once I XREF it in. That's one way of doing an XREF. So what are you to do on this today? You are to draw the geometry, 1-to-1. This print you have is to scale. It's going to print at 1 inch to a foot, but we'll take care of that tomorrow. But anything on here you don't know the size of, like it says 2x4 interior bearing wall at 16 inches OC, well, just measure that. And I printed it at 3/4. So use your architectural scale on the 3/4 size and you can measure anything on here and it will be the right size. Does that make sense? Your finished drawing should look like this. This is it. This will be, open the 135 footing template, draw it in there and save it. You're not drawing this in that floor plan drawing. It's a drawing all by itself. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, so this is the finished product. Okay, that's what you need to do today. Now, let's talk about this one. Here's the way XREFs are generally done in today's world. We have a block library, we have it annotated, and it is at a set scale. We do not change the scale when we bring it to another drawing. Okay, so we've made a determination as a company that we're going to use wall sections and we will always print them this scale. If we do not print them to that scale, we're going to use the NTS code, not to scale. because all the information's the same. This again, the standard 9-foot wall, this same wall, except for the slope of the roof, is probably 80% of all homes built in Twin. Again, it's a single floor structure. So I would use this on almost every house I do. So I'm just saying, hey, I will always print this at 3/4. If for some reason I have to go after 3/4, I'm not touching it. I'm putting NTS on it, not to scale. Now, I do not like that NTS thing. In fact, it bugs me to death. We all have our little pet peeves. Look through that drawing set back there on the structural. There's sheets and sheets of NTS. People do it. They've made that nomenclature. We're going to do it. Because all the materials are the same, the scale just changed. Okay? I'm just telling you, if I was running a company, no way, I'd never do it. But I'm not running every company out there, so. In fact, I only run one company, and it's Pat Farrell, or I should say Jody Farrell Slavery Company. No, just kidding. So, you're going to like this. This is a great way to run blocks. Why? How long would it take you to draw this thing? And to annotate. Yeah. I've drawn a lot of these, and I would be easily 2 hours on it to get it good. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and finish the whole drawing right now. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is go back to your drawing where you drew your floor plan. Okay. So the one we set up your dim style just in. Open that drawing. Now, I don't have my floor plan in here. Let me get it in here real quick. Okay, so you're sitting here with this drawing. All right, now we're going to use a process called external referencing. If you've ever used Word and Excel or any other programs, PowerPoint does it, a bunch of them, where we link different files together. In essence, I can reach into a Word document and say, hey, I want to use this portion, or an Excel document. If any of you have gone through classes like that back in high school or college, this is the exact same process, but instead of calling it linked, we're just calling it external reference. And in fact, in AutoCAD, you can external reference other drawings, other CAD drawings that are DXF'd from other CAD packages. I can actually XREF in Word documents, Excel documents, the whole gamut I can bring into here. Now, how we do it is called the XREF Manager, or External Referencing. It's under your Insert Annotation ribbon. So if you go to your Insert Annotation, or your Insert ribbon, excuse me. Okay, so this one has a lot of your block stuff on it. It's got a little attach thing right here. This is your XREF Manager. Okay. Now, I don't really use this guy, mostly because it just is for attaching one document and I can't control them. There's another command I would like you to use that I think is a little more user-friendly, and it's called XREF. So if you just type this on the command line, type in XREF. And you get this little dialog box that opens up here. I'm going to make mine a little bigger. Now, it might, some of you with your dual monitors, it might pop over in the other screen or something like that. It should have one drawing in here. Okay, and that's the drawing you currently have open. Okay, that's always going to be there. Okay, now, across the top, you have these little buttons that go on. We're only going to use this first one right here. So we're going to actually take this, and it's going to allow us to put other drawings in here and manage them from this location. So on that icon to the top left, it's got a little fly out with it. Drop down that little thing right there real quick. Okay. By default, when you just click on the button, you're going to get attach a drawing. But just mention, you can put images, you can put internet stuff, DGN as MicroStation, PDFs, all this stuff. Point clouds, you can bring into AutoCAD. Now, why do we use this versus just Control-C, Control-V? Because I can do that too, right? I draw that footing, I Control-C it in that drawing, and I drop it in another one. It's a memory issue. AutoCAD's only going to display this geometry from the other drawings. It's not going to store it. All it's storing is the link or the address on where I need to go look at it. So it's a huge thing, especially when you go 3D, because 3D will bog you down. And so we generally will XREF everything in. The drawing's just looking at a picture, is all it's looking at. And it doesn't have to store all that information. So that's why we use this. So choose attach drawing. And it's going to go through, this is just like your block insert deal. It's going to kick you out. Now go find that XREF wall section that you downloaded from Google Classroom. I think mine's right here. Go ahead and click on the open button once you have located it. Raise your hand if you have any problems with this. And you'll get this screen right here, which is your block insert screen.
What was it called? XREF?
XREF wall section. We should have downloaded it from Google Classroom.
Did you say that?
Yep, top one.
Oh, wait,
how about you get where's the one you created that thing? That we were working on and you created the dim style?
Nobody knows that name?
Okay, so this is it. Right here. Okay, now you will be charged for your extra managers.
Woo! I'm not judging.
Lucky Charms are a staple.
And you've got to download that and save it on your computer.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Click download, make sure you know where it's getting saved.
Sorry to disappoint.
Click that. Show in folder or something, or do an open, whatever. You see, you're saving it, you see users, JNet downloads. Anybody else have problems locating it? Okay, you don't want that close that way. Yeah, the drawing, you can
The other one.
close that. The drawing you want to be in is the one we just created the dim side. Okay, attach drawing.
And then all my other ones, these ones. it's on
Now,
the-
where did you save?
Right here with these other two. But I don't see it in here. But I had it
Then you never
open.
saved it
Well, I had it open. That's where I had it open from earlier.
there.
That's why I had it open here. this morning.
Sure.
Yeah, they were in templates, I wrote them all there. I wrote where I had them all. They were all, they were in that one. And that's how I opened it.
Did ABC2, did you do a save as on thing?
I saved them as part 1, 2, and 3 from the other one.
Okay, so what's our, click on that too. You'll get a preview.
That's what I'm in. That's this one. I'm in.
What's one?
One is,
Or any of
and then I was in 3, I was in this draw, that drawing on 3. I wrote it up there.
Don't you have the floor plan drawn somewhere?
I didn't draw it.
I have. It's this one.
Floor plan there, isn't it? And we just got rid of our tree, which had this drawing on it. I pulled up this one for these two. That's the one, you saw that, had that, I just closed that out.
Oh, just do this. Might be quicker to re-download it.
That just was okay.
It's okay. Oh, wait, here, just hold on a second. Let's get everybody to stop. Just be patient if you would.
Sorry.
Juan, did you get it located?
Yeah, I just put it in my desktop.
Okay. Missy, you good?
That's how else
It's
would
right there, right?
Architectural. Way better. It's way
Everything else, everything else we need.
It's just a bunch of like
Everything else
codes
we
and
need to
rules that
test,
you have to remember.
test.
Like,
Everything, I don't know why I put it in there, but in templates, I don't know why.
other than that,
That's where I got it from.
it's nothing like orthographic perfection.
Okay, that's the direction.
Yeah.
So bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
It's literally
Type X, right?
learning how to offset. If you can offset really, really good, it'll be easy. It'll be breeze. It's fine.
And open. All right, this is your block insert, right? So you've got your scale, rotation, all that stuff. You want everything 1-to-1, right? Geometry is always 1-to-1. This thing's actually 2 scale, the scale we're going to print it to. The one thing down here, you do have an attachment over